Eminem, the man who refused to disappear. Before the world knew him as Eminem, before stadiums chanted his name and lyrics were studied like modern poetry, there was a boy who felt invisible. Not metaphorically invisible, painfully invisible. A kid walking through Detroit with a notebook full of words, knowing that nobody expected anything from him. And maybe that was exactly why he decided to expect everything from himself. Detroit wasn't kind. It wasn't romantic. It didn't whisper dreams. It shouted reality. Broken streets, broken homes, broken promises. Marshall Mathers grew up moving from place to place, never staying long enough to feel safe. School wasn't a refuge, it was a battlefield. Being different made him a target. Being poor made it worse. And being white in a world where hip-hop was a sacred space dominated by black voices made his dream feel almost impossible. But some people don't need permission to dream. Music wasn't just entertainment for Marshall, it was survival. While others escaped through parties or trouble, he escaped through syllables. He studied rap like a science, dissecting flows, internal rhymes, rhythm patterns. He didn't just listen to hip-hop, he absorbed it. Every verse became a lesson, every battle a test. At night, while Detroit slept, he wrote, not neat lines, not polished thoughts. Raw emotions spilled onto paper, anger, fear, hunger, defiance. He wasn't trying to be famous. He was trying to be heard. Rap battles were brutal. No safety net, no filters. Just a microphone and a crowd ready to tear you apart. He lost often, sometimes badly, sometimes publicly. But what mattered was that he came back. Again, and again, and again. Each loss sharpened him. Each insult became fuel. People laughed at first, then they listened, then they leaned in. There's a moment every underdog faces. The moment when quitting feels logical, when reality seems louder than hope. Eminem stood at that edge more than once. Working minimum wage jobs, failing classes, watching life move forward without him. Becoming a father before becoming anything else. Responsibility came early, and success came late. And then, just when it seemed like the door had closed for good, something strange happened. Someone listened. Dr. Dre didn't see a novelty. He didn't see a gimmick. He saw precision, hunger, authenticity. Where others heard chaos, Dre heard control. Where others saw risk, he saw revolution. That moment changed everything, but not overnight. Fame didn't erase the scars. Success didn't cure the pain. It just amplified everything. When Eminem finally stepped into the spotlight, he didn't clean himself up for the audience. He didn't soften the edges. He did the opposite. He put his flaws on display. Addiction, rage, trauma, family wounds, self-hatred. He said the things people were afraid to admit, even to themselves, and the world reacted loudly. Some were shocked, some were offended, some were inspired, but nobody ignored him. That was the point. Eminem didn't ask to be liked. He demanded to be acknowledged. His lyrics cut deep because they were honest. Not motivational in a polite way, motivational in a survival way. He represented people who felt trapped, misunderstood, underestimated. People who had been told they were too broken, too angry, too much. He proved that pain could be transformed into art without losing its sharpness. But the story doesn't stop at success. Legends aren't defined by rising. They're defined by what happens after the fall. At the height of his fame, Eminem nearly lost himself. Addiction crept in quietly, and then all at once, pills blurred days. Fame became isolating. The same voice that once saved him now seemed distant. For a while, even his words couldn't reach him. Many thought it was over. They were wrong. Recovery wasn't cinematic. It wasn't heroic. It was slow, uncomfortable, humbling. Learning how to live again. learning how to write again, learning how to exist without numbing the noise. When he returned, he wasn't chasing trends. He wasn't competing with younger artists. He was competing with himself. And that's what made the comeback real. In an industry obsessed with relevance, Eminem became something rarer, timeless. Not because he stayed the same, but because he refused to disappear. He adapted without pretending. He evolved without erasing his past. His later work carried a different energy, less chaos, more clarity, but the core remained untouched. Precision, honesty, relentless work ethic. Eminem's legacy isn't just about records sold or awards won, it's about permission. He gave people permission to be angry and articulate, broken and brilliant, vulnerable and dangerous. He showed that talent doesn't always come from comfort. Sometimes it's forged in survival mode. He turned his worst days into verses that would outlive him. Today, new generations discover him not through albums, but through clips. A verse here, a breakdown there, a reaction video. And the reaction is often the same. How did he do that? How did someone with so many disadvantages become one of the greatest lyricists ever? The answer is uncomfortable. He didn't wait for confidence. He built it. He didn't wait for approval. He worked without it. He didn't escape pain. He used it. Eminem is proof that your background doesn't define your ceiling. That being underestimated can be a weapon. That sometimes the most powerful voice comes from someone who was never supposed to speak. He didn't become a legend by fitting in. He became one by refusing to disappear.